Your identity shapes what you deem possible. Your identity is a layer in the stack of filters for how you perceive the world. We have our five senses. We have our unwelton as well, like that's kind of part of it. We have our past experiences that coerce us into different thought patterns, etc. And all of that shapes this fundamental layer of identity. Everything that we experience, touch, feel, look at, it all filters through identity. And what is identity? If you've never thought about what your own identity is, the easiest way to think about it is that it is effectively the thing that you do. If I'm an engineer, I do engineering things. That becomes, in some capacity, what my identity is. If I do triathlon training, that becomes, in part, my identity. Suddenly, my whole life is going to be filled with things associated with triathlon training, and decisions that I make will be in line with this triathlon training, or in line with being an engineer, or in line with all these things. So the standpoint at which I experience the world will be completely filtered through these lenses. The decisions that I make will often be anchored in some engineering decision framework where you're coerced in thinking into optimizing every outcome and all the variables in it for the best possible solution. A triathlon training identity may look like skipping out on different friend experiences, like hangout sessions, because you have training in the morning. These identity bubbles completely filter the realm of possibilities at which you can experience the world. There's nothing stopping me from going out with my friends still. There's nothing stopping me from using a different decision-making framework than that of an engineer. I could totally choose things that I want to do because I want to do them, not because I want to optimize every outcome. I can use a decision-making framework that leans on joy, for instance. These stories that we tell ourselves that shape our identity coerces our world. Consider this. Before, I never used to make these videos of me walking in a park with a camera. That's scary. I wasn't that person. And now, something that I've even told myself just before making this video is that's okay, because you are someone that likes making these videos. It doesn't matter what happens to me while I'm making these. People may look at it weird, etc. But fundamentally, this is something I like to do. That is my unique contribution to the world. That is my identity to the world. So that's another form of identity making. But I just want to have this perception that identity is like a layer of Swiss cheese. This analogy exists in cybersecurity or the thought process of things that go wrong. This Swiss cheese analogy, and I think it's such a powerful visual. Imagine a layer of Swiss cheese. There's a lot of holes in the Swiss cheese, and experiences, your life, the world is flowing through this Swiss cheese. What gets through? The places that interact with the holes, of course. It flows through to the next layer of cognition, the next layer of decision making, and sometimes these holes, there can be like one of them. Your Swiss cheese identity is one. So that means the flow of life can only filter through that single hole. And it could be very small. It could be this very tight, narrow focused funnel that not only things of triathlon training can flow through, but there's no budge. There's no diffuse boundary at which the identity can kind of, move off of, or the flow can enter from a different sort of angle. The reason why I bring this analogy up is because think of the Swiss cheese again, but imagine if you had many different holes. Imagine if you had holes that are larger in the Swiss cheese. Maybe, some are smaller, but it's scattered. This means your identities may be a lot more accepting. Life can flow into it and actually reach your conscious mind such that you can make a decision and move from there. Having this identity layer that's not so tightly coupled just to a couple little holes lets you choose what it is that you actually want to do. And this is a very powerful idea. If you're able to choose what you actually want to do without reacting hastily, rashly, whatever, you can come at life with a much clearer mind. You can come at life with more authenticity because you are then consciously making the decisions, and it's not this unconscious filtering that is being done by this layer of Swiss cheese. So the Swiss cheese is quite powerful. It definitely is there. You can think of it as a subconscious filter, if you will, that completely affects the life around you. For me, I'm able, as I reflect, to think of ways at which I want to expand this Swiss cheese and puncture new holes to let in new views and interpretations. I don't want to live in a world where I am just a person that views it through the lens of engineering. I've gotten to a place where I've seen immense value in artistic interpretations, art, just doing things for joy. I want to be able to change. I want to be able to grow, because this one rigid identity that we have assigned ourselves at some point in our past, why would you expect it to be the one and only true identity? There is no reason that you would have had it figured out when you're 20, you're 21, I'm 26. There's no reason why you would have stumbled upon this one-all, end-all identity that totally encompasses and experiences the world in exactly the way that you want. No. There are so many things that you have filtered out unknowingly that could lead to your next greatest moment. Let life flow in, and you decide how you want to change with it. And I think this is why in a different video I talked a lot about labels and how these are anchor points. You can imagine these Swiss cheese holes are labels. The I am super depressed. The I'm an engineer. Wish I could come up with way more examples. The I only like fried chicken. I only like deep fried Mars bars. The I only like Korean food. I had fried chicken and Korean food the other day. But like, if that is your perception, then like all life will flow through that. You will make decisions based upon these labels, these anchor points. But regardless, let's get into a slightly different framing of this. But today, I'm Matthew, signing off. Have a great day. Thesis writing awaits.